Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this Rolex Submariner, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing what is considered to be a transitional model from Rolex. Introduced in the late 70s and phased out in the late 80s, this is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Submariner 16800, 40 millimeters in stainless steel. This was a timepiece that offered a lot of firsts for the Submariner family, and the model you see right here is actually an early R serial number, making it one of the last 16800s produced. The watch on my wrist is 40 millimeters in diameter and fairly slim, as you can see in profile, only 12.5 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug, a 47.3 millimeter span, pivoted end links to the bracelet. So the watch's true measure across the wrist is 47.3, 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. If you wish to accessorize with a strap, for example, I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Now the timepiece features a matching bracelet. This is a 93150, and it has a L serial number, which corresponds to 1987. I believe this watch was produced in late 1987, and so too was the bracelet. Now I should call your attention to one feature of this bracelet, which is that the end links themselves do not correspond. One is a 593 and the other is a 501B, so likely at some point a change was made and these two Rolex components were unified in a single bracelet. That said, you can see quite clearly it is a 93150 and it's in good shape. It doesn't have too much play, it doesn't have too much Rolex rattle. It feels vintage, but it has its structural integrity and it has most of its original metal. Satin finish on the hoods. You can see the flanks sport screws for sizing the links. Even in the era of the hollow links, Rolex was all about sizing bracelets with screws, not pin sleeves. The Oyster clasp is in good shape. As you can see, it still retains much of its definition externally. Clamshell closure, open it up. You can see there are many different stationing points inside to adjust the fit of the watch on your wrist without actually removing or adding links. And then there is a flip lock dive extension for those of you who will continue to use this watch for diving's sake, over a wetsuit, a dry suit, or for landlubbers like me, just over a thick winter coat when it gets chilly. The case is in good shape. As you can see, a slim polished case band. The lugs are even from side to side and fairly full. There's no protrusion of the spring bar beyond the end of the lug, and you can see from side to side they are fairly symmetrical. The case is in good shape. I would consider it about a 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. You'll also note proper break between the satin finished hoods of the lugs and the polish of the flank, with a little bit of the beveling still present on some of these lug profiles. Now I'll be right up front with you. The bezel and the dial of the watch are Rolex factory service replacements. So this isn't a time capsule piece. This isn't the one to purchase for the Rolex Museum and posterity. This is a vintage watch that you can still wear like a modern watch. It was also the beginning of unidirectional rotating Rolex sub bezels. So you have that, you can line up the bezel, which is Luminova, with the minute hand, which is Luminova, and now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute timer. I've long considered dive bezels more desirable for timing short intervals than chronographs because they're just easy to read and there are no downstream complicated chronograph service requirements or costs. The dial is a black lacquer base with white gold indices, and this is what the dial would have looked like on the last of the 16800s. It would have been a white gold index, white gold hand dial, rather than the early matte with printed profiles. So you have the white gold, and it's highly corrosion resistant and tarnishing resistant. That is exactly why Rolex upgraded from matte to gloss with white gold. It lasts, it ages better. Giant Cyclops eye magnifier, yep, in sapphire, like the crystal over the dial. This was another Submariner first for easy reading of the date. Underneath the case back, screw down, by the way, 100 meter water resistance, or pardon me, 300 meter water resistance. This was the step up from the 200 meter Submariners to the 300 meter rating. That was another change. Other changes inside, this was the beginning of the subs with high beat movements, caliber 30-35, 27 joules automatic winding, 45-hour power reserve. It features a free sprung balance with an overcoil hairspring adjusted in 5 positions. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. The 28.8 beat rate, stented and halted when you like with a stop seconds or hacking function, and there is a quick set function for the date. This is the arrival of the quick set function in the Submariner, another first for this model. What makes this different from a 3135? Well, the jewel count, 27 versus 31. The 3135 features a fast barrel, and this features a half bridge rather than a full balance bridge. So those are the distinctions, but on the wrist, it's a seamless experience. One wears and operates effectively exactly like the other, which is why I say this is not a time capsule piece. With the service bezel and the service dial, it's all Rolex and correct Rolex, but at the same time, this is not something someone threw in a drawer moments after purchase. This is one to wear. It's a daily driver, or one might say a daily diver. See it and make it yours on the watch box. Rolex Submariner 16800 by night.